Hope you're all well, wise people. Let's talk about the Lionsgate portal today. I have written about it a few times before, and it's that time again. I will explain just the basics of it, and if you would like to know more in depth, I'm going to post a link in the description box for you to listen to. But briefly, we don't need to know much about physics to understand that everything is energy. Nor do we need to know much about mechanics to understand everything can move more freely through an opening. And that's what the Lionsgate portal is. An opening for the energy to flow more freely between the earth and the higher realm. The earth, Sirius, which is also called the spiritual sign, and the constellation Orion. By the way, there are 88 recognized constellations. 8 is very important today, by the way, are all aligned whilst the sun is in Leo. Today is the 8th of the 8th, and 2024 adds up to the single digit 8 as well. So we have a very strong energy of the number 8. And 8 pertains to infinite potential, opportunity, abundance, and prosperity. By the way, abundance is the universal principle referring to the availability of a significant quantity and plentiful, whilst prosperity pertains to a unit, whether individual or community, and their success in areas of finance, happiness, and well-being. So why is all this important? Because the vibration is so positive and the flow is so open, we can benefit greatly from connecting to it. But how do we do that? There are different ways: meditation, visualization, affirmations, energy attunement, sound bath, whichever works for you. If you're wondering about the sound frequency, because I did, obviously, and how it affects us, just think of those. I'm sure you must have come across of those videos where sound patterns are formed by the vibration of the sound because of the resonance of it. So the same way it affects objects, it affects us as well, especially us as bodies of energy and consciousness. So today the energy is very strongly influenced by number 8, and 8 is about balance and symmetry, success and prosperity, stability and endurance, abundance and infinity. A positive energy for manifesting happiness and health, financial stability, and harmonious relationships. It's active until the 12th, but today it's at its peak. So use whatever practice works for you to connect to the divine and align with this beautiful energy. However, before we try to upload anything new, we ought to ensure that everything that is clogging the system has been released. Just like a cup. If we want a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, we have to make sure it's empty and clean. So again, I'm going to mention healing. Healing trauma, dissolving subconscious blocks, and unblocking our energy centers is an important step before manifestation. I will remind you of the steps quickly, and just as quickly you can do it. Cognition, which is mental psychological processing. Then surrendering to what is and letting go of what could have been or what went wrong. Then forgiveness of the self and of all those involved. You don't have to speak to anyone. You don't have to tell anyone you forgive them. You just have to feel it within yourself, to find it within, to forgive them. You don't have to, but it would help. It's an important step in the healing process. And by the way, forgiving somebody does not mean you admit you're wrong and they are right. It means you understood that they are wrong and that you cannot change what happened, but you are ready to not allow to feel anything about it anymore. And you can do that by using EFT, which is the short for emotional freedom technique. It's in the name, or tapping as it's called as well. This helps you dissolve the emotions created at the time. And obviously you can tap on how you're feeling right now in the present moment as you are dealing with it and working on healing your trauma. Then intentional energetic cord cutting through quick visualization. And last, somatic healing, physical exercises, movement, shaking body parts, dancing or patting body parts to help release the energy stored in the body. It all can be a matter of minutes. And then you can do your manifestation routine and connect to the divine and its energy flowing today through the Lionsgate portal. In my meditation, I got the following prompts. They will represent different things for each of us, but will give you the potential meanings. And of course, you can use your own intuition and wisdom to add to this. So, first, I got men feeling weak, sensitive, helpless, immature, being immature or acting immature. So that obviously pertains to a male that needs healing, to the way a male behaves or the way he is perceived, to a male that needs support to grow into a better version of themselves. That being said, remember that that is a partner or somebody you're very, very close to. You cannot be their therapist or counselor. All you can do is to guide them and nudge them on the right path. Obviously, it's different for mothers of boys because they can and have to take a more proactive approach to how their sons are being raised, supported, taught, and encouraged in becoming the wonderful, healed, mentally and emotionally balanced man they can and deserve to be. Then I had the vision of stacking rods, and immediately after gathering around. These can refer to having too much to deal with feeling overwhelmed, having to put down some of the burdens, calling for or offering support, finding props to help you deal with difficulties. Then I got a cup half full and quickly turned into an hourglass. We already mentioned emptying the cup, so obviously it can pertain to emptying the cup in order to fill it, making sure we have a positive outlook, see everything as a blessing in disguise by understanding that any misfortune carries a lesson that once learned can turn pain into power, to transformation and metamorphosis, timing and new beginnings. Then I had the vision of the tarot card of the Hanged Man, and it can be about the subconscious mind, about having to turn inwards, about gaining new perspective, or about feeling in limbo, awaiting, or like we sacrifice too much for others. Then I had the vision of another tarot card, this time the Emperor, but also of two columns. Difficulties in getting something or through something, and could just be as simple as connecting to this portal and energy today. It could also be about bossing up. It could be about an Aries or a fire sign person in your life. It could be about gatekeeping, leadership, and for some could be about dealing with medical issues or medical professionals or even studying in the medical field. Then I got hidden heartache. That would obviously pertain to some trauma that hasn't been healed, or it has a deeper layer to it, or meaning of a pain we thought we understood, and perhaps we did understand it, but we haven't healed it completely yet. It's about the root cause of suffering. And then I got half of a sunflower. Sunflower symbolizes our heart, childhood, tradition, tenderness, good luck and good fortune, soulmate, and twin flame. Have to mention that soulmate pertains to all types of relationships, romantic and otherwise, whereas twin flame is only about love relationships. As in my vision, the sunflower was only a half, it can mean that one hasn't been united with their twin soul or has been separated from a soulmate, whether partner, family member, or friend. It can also mean that one hasn't fulfilled their full potential yet, or hasn't healed their childhood trauma and inner child. In mythology is associated with unrequited love and devotion, but also with transformation and healing. And we already had a few times both concepts of transformation, metamorphosis, and of healing. The myth says that a water nymph called Clytie or Cliti, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, fell in love with the young sun god Apollo. But he hasn't returned the love, so she eventually has been transformed into a flower that always turns towards the sun. So now she could watch her beloved without feeling, how beautiful is this? Right. Also, the sunflower, as we know, has both life-sustaining use and medicinal purposes. And in spirituality, it symbolizes faith, enlightenment, loyalty, the love of God. So whatever pain and heartache, it can be healed. Any misfortune can take a fortunate turn. Love, loyalty, and faith, just like the light of the sun and of the stars, for happiness. And we are very blessed to have them all at our disposal freely and all aligned for us now to connect and make use of them in the wisest way possible. Happy manifesting, everyone.